YouTube, what is good? Yo, welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited to be showing you guys an editing technique that can instantly improve your photo, but unfortunately, it's an editing technique and a step in the editing process that so many photographers forget, especially people who are just getting started out. But before we get into this tutorial, I gotta shout out the sponsor on today's episode, Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/Evan Ranft. Start your free trial today and get 10% off your first purchase. So Squarespace is what I use to build my own photography website, evanranft.com. I use it to showcase my work, I use it to book clients, and because this is a photography-based YouTube channel, I would guess a lot of you want to do the same thing. And one of the easiest ways to really get your photography business going, start selling prints, booking clients, is through a website, and Squarespace is the truth. It is the easiest way to build your own site. There's a lot of reasons why. One, award-winning customer service. You can call them, get any question you have answered. Two, all the design templates that they have, they're so easy to customize. You can build your own site. I mentioned this a few episodes back. I built an entire page from scratch using Squarespace. I didn't know anything about web design, and I built a customized page to fit exactly what I wanted. If I can do it, you can too. If you're gonna start a photography business, one of the easiest ways to grow that business and look professional is building your own website, and Squarespace is the place to do it. So head over to squarespace.com/Evan Ranft. Start your free trial today and get 10% off that first purchase. But now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this editing technique we're going to be going over today. So you guys have heard me talk in my vlogs about that secret sauce, that little bit of extra salt that I put on the photos after I get done showing the photo in the vlog. A lot of times I say, this photo is only half edited, head over to my Instagram to see the fully edited version. Well, today I'm going to be showing you what that little bit of extra salt on top is. Now, for the longest time, I would spend hours editing a photo, and once that photo was done, I'd be ready to post it on my website, my Instagram, my Twitter, wherever I wanted to share this photo. I was so excited about it, I would skip what I now know is a very important step of the editing process, which is to remove the distractions from your image. And today I'm going to show you 3 ways that I remove distractions from my photo. 2 ways on the computer and 1 way on my iPhone. So let's jump back to the last vlog for today's example. This is the photo that I showed you guys in the vlog, and I said I had to do a little bit more work on this image. I had to remove the distractions from the photo. So now I've circled everything that I think is a distraction. Little things like dots on the floor, some like stains on the wall, just some little things that in my opinion take away from the subject and the real feeling of this photo. So let's start breaking this down. I'm going to show you the 3 ways that I get rid of these distractions to really clean up your image and take it from a cool photo to a cool, clean, top level photo. I'm telling you guys, this will make a huge difference in how your image looks, and you don't really have to do anything other than spend a little bit more time in the editing process. You don't have to buy anything, you don't have to change the way you're making the photo. You just got to spend a little bit more time at the computer on something that's a little bit tedious and honestly not that fun and a little bit of a pain. So let's jump into the computer. I'm going to show you how I take these distractions out of the photo. Do me a solid, guys. If you enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. And if you enjoy the video and you think someone else would benefit from this info, hit that share button. I would greatly appreciate it. So here we go. Lightroom, step 1. Let's get it. So we're going to start in Lightroom today. I'm going to show you what I use Lightroom for when it comes to removing distractions, making these final edits in our photo. And typically I use Lightroom for the more simple adjustments. Let's say I use Lightroom to edit a photo and I notice there's a few things I want to take out. Typically I'll just do these adjustments in Lightroom because it's all in one piece of software. The more advanced edits I'll typically do in Photoshop, which I'll show you kind of a quick example of in a little while. But for now, we'll stay in Lightroom. We're going to zoom in on a piece of the photo that we want to get rid of. This giant dot right here is a good example. I'm going to click this tool right here, which is similar to the clone stamp tool in Photoshop. It's the spot removal tool in Lightroom. We're going to go ahead and set our brush size. That's pretty good. Give this maybe just a little bit of feather. Give our brush size a little bigger, and bang. There we go. Lightroom makes an automatic selection. You can do the clone version, which is going to be the exact same, match it up, or the heal version is basically Lightroom, I don't know how to put it, the software making an adjustment and filling in that area with what it thinks is appropriate. So typically I like to do heal, but if the heal is not working, I'll go with the clone tool. That works just as well. So we can do that a few other times. Adjust the size, go right here. Lightroom makes a good selection. That looks perfect. So sometimes you're going to have to adjust the selection that Lightroom makes because this is not perfect. Let's go right here. Cool. and it looks like Lightroom made another good selection. So that is how I use Lightroom for spot removal and removing distractions like this. Pretty simple. Like I said, nothing too advanced gets done in Lightroom. I think it's better for the smaller, quick adjustments after you're done editing your photo. So now we're in Photoshop. I'm going to show you the method that I use to take things out of my photo, and sometimes I use this method to add things into my photo, especially on larger edits where I might need to fill in a portion of the photo or there's like a gap that I want to fill in. I use this technique because it allows me to select what I want to fill those areas with. But we're just going to keep with the same example. I'm going to show you a simple way to use the clone stamp tool. So the clone stamp tool is right over here. You're going to go ahead and click on that. We're going to zoom into this line up here, what we want to remove. So like I said, I don't like this line right here. I think it's pretty ugly and distracting from the photo. So here's how the clone stamp works. You make a selection of an area in the image to essentially paint over an area that you want to paint over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right above this line right here. We're going to click the Option key on our keyboard and click. Now we've made a selection. So notice when we paint over this line, we click and paint, there's that cross hash mark above it. That's showing us where we are making a selection from. So essentially we're painting where that hash mark is over this line. This is a great tool to remove things from your photo, but like I said, let's say hypothetically, I wasn't actually going to do this in this edit, but I want to give you a good example. Let's say we want to fill in this area of the window right here. What I could do is I could click Option, make a selection right here, and then I could go up and I could paint in this area. Now, this isn't something that I would do. I don't think it's necessary in the image, and this is a very sloppy example of how you can use the clone stamp tool, but with a little bit more time and some effort, you can actually fill in certain areas of your image if you need to. So let's jump over here and let's remove this last spot from the photo. We'll go ahead and click Option, select, and paint right over that spot. It is now gone. So like I said, typically I'd use Photoshop for more advanced edits, things that take a little bit more time, that are more tedious. The clone stamp tool is great for that, especially like I said, when it comes to adding things into your photo or potentially filling up gaps or filling space with selections from inside your image. But this is a quick, easy breakdown of how the clone stamp tool works and how you can use it to remove distractions from your photo. So our last method is going to use an app called Retouch. Open up our photo and let's start editing. Now I have an entire video all about how much I love this app, so I'm not going to go as in depth as that video. So if you want to watch that, I linked it in the description on this video. But let me show you exactly how I would edit this image using this awesome app. So what I would do is click on the object removal tool. I would zoom in on anything I found distracting. I'll go ahead and paint right over those areas, and I'll click the go button, and bang, there you go. It's like magic. It just removes it. Do the same thing in a few other areas. Nice. And we'll just go through this photo. I'm not going to do every single point that I think is distracting, and we'll just remove all of them. Right here, right here. Nice. Now this app has some other tools you can use as well. You have this thing like the lasso tool where you can just circle around something. Bang. There we go. Now that is gone. Or up here, you could use something called the line removal tool. We can go ahead and remove a line by drawing a line. Bang. This, honestly, this application is one of my favorite apps on my iPhone. I use this probably 90% of the time when I need to remove something from a photo. I think Photoshop and Lightroom are great for making edits in prints or making really concise edits if that's something you need to do. The 10% of the time that I would use Lightroom and Photoshop is, say I was printing something or I needed to make sure for a client that whatever I'm removing from the photo is done properly. But for things like Instagram posts or just random photos, maybe something I'm posting in my story, this app is honestly the best tool for that job. And there we go, our edit is now complete. We spent the extra time on that final step to remove distractions and really clean up our photo. Now remember, in today's example, we're removing spots on the ground, some like stains on the wall. That's not the only thing that can be distracting in your photo. That's just what's distracting in today's example. If you're out in nature, it could be a tree branch hanging down. down. It could be like some little bit of trash off in the distance, you know, something that's taking your eye away from what you want people to pay attention to. Same thing could apply to street photography. Maybe there's a person off in the background that you can easily Photoshop out. Maybe there's a little bit of graffiti on the ground or a sticker on a light pole, that type of thing. Now, my last piece of advice for this video is understand that training your eye to see these distractions can take a little bit of time. My advice to you, if you have a photo, stare at that photo and identify what pieces of the photo you want someone to pay attention to. Whether it's a person, whether it's a sunset, whether it's nature, doesn't really matter. Identify what's important in the photo and then start looking for elements of the photo that you think take away from what you want people to pay attention to. And also remember that not every single photo is gonna have a distraction or require this cleanup process. Sometimes you get lucky and you find yourself making a photo that's pretty much perfect off top. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button for me, hit that subscribe button for more. Thank you for watching. You guys are the truth. I will see you next time.